Hi, it's been a little while since I've done a full and complete makeover tutorial. Now, I've received a couple of requests recently, so I thought I would just put a little look together for you, which is this particular one here. Now, if you want to see how I achieve the look, there is a step-by-step guide in this video, and I've listed out all of the products with relevant links where I could find them in the description, and I hope to pop in a little bit of detail on each of the products as we go through the video. So I hope you find it interesting. I would be delighted if you dropped a comment down below, or if you had any other suggestions for videos going forward, that would also be appreciated. So without further ado, let's dive into it, shall we? Firstly, let's start by applying surgical spirits around the face area where the tapes are going to be applied. These are the Art Harding facelift tape kits. And I apply them just above the eye area and along the jawline of the opposite side, as you can see just here. Now in total I use 3 sets of these Art Hardings, one above each eye, and a little bit later on I attach some to the temples just to give the final tight look around the jawline. Now for the application of the foundation, I've mixed 2 types of foundation, as you can see here, using the MAC Face and Body foundation combined with about 20% of the Crossdresser Shimmering Event Foundation in a shade Golden Beige. The Golden Beige gives a little bit of a sort of a dewy finish to the overall foundation look. Applying with the standard synthetic brush all over the face and neck area. I will then use a beauty blender here to even out the foundation finish and speed up the drying process. I'm just going to even the skin out a little bit more using a natural hair blending brush. Now it's time to tighten up the Art Harding facelifts. Just pressing them in just to make sure they're nice and secure. As you can see, they make quite a dramatic difference to your face shape. Again, just popping in with the blending brush here just to make sure that I have got all of the foundation nice and even and dry. So starting off with the eyeshadow and the brows. I've chosen quite a dramatic colour here from the MAC Dazzle Shadow Liquid range here. It's quite a punchy pink. Initially I'm using the applicator itself just to pop on the product, but to get more accurate and get right the way back to the socket line, I then take a brush just to fill in those areas. Now I'm going to apply the first lot of actual eyeshadow itself. It's from the MAC Extra Dimension Eyeshadow in Rich Core, and this is just on the outside and in the socket line itself. Just slowly building up the area here, and also using the eyeshadow itself just to set that original coat of eyeshadow that I put on. Slowly building it up, making sure I've got the arch correct. Next I take it out a little bit further using the Crossdresser Cosmetics shade in Lilac G. This is slightly lighter. I'm taking it out at an angle and just slowly building it up. Don't rush this particular stage because it does set the shape of your eye. Taking it right into the tear duct here. And obviously repeating the process on my right eye. Next I've taken MAC's Nylon and I'm applying that on the inside of the eye here. It's quite a reflective colour. So I'm literally taking it right down into the tear duct and I'm building it outwards. I find this particular colour helps to highlight the eye, particularly the inner part, quite well. I'm taking it up right up to what will be the beginning of my eyebrows. And this is a very gradual process because I'm never too sure quite how high to take it, if I'm honest. As with all makeup, just take your time. And the final colour I'm going to apply is actually, unfortunately, discontinued colour from the MAC range. It's in Circa Plum, but at the bottom I put the NARS duplicate colour, which is more or less exactly the same shade. And this I'm using right on the outside and building it right up to what will be my eyebrow area. So there you can see the kind of finished look at the moment. A little bit more to play around with. Now I'm just going to define the inside or the tear duct of my eye a little bit. I do like to use this brush stroke 24-hour liner by MAC. It's a nice, very thin felt applicator here, and I can get right close to my natural lash line. Again, I always like to take my time here because you've got to dive right into the lash line. I'm going to start off by doing my brows. You can see I've already done my right eyebrow here, but I always use this Krolon eyebrow powder. In this particular instance I'm using a shade medium because it just looks like a tattooed finish, and on the brush you can pick up your own natural little hairs there and define with this brow brush quite nice shape. Remember, your eyebrows are brother and sister, not identical twins. Just keep checking them and look that they are fairly well balanced on your eyes. Now I always go in at this stage with a MAC kohl pencil in smolder just to define the outside of the eye. I literally go right into the eye itself. I'm doing the top section here. Always makes me wince, it makes my eyes water a bit, so I generally take it quite easy. This is what gives the depth of your eye. I'm just going to dive in here with an eyebrow brush because I took a little bit of a tick with using that smolder there on the outside. I'm going to blend that in to make the outside of my eye that slightly bit darker in the corners. What I'm trying to do is create the illusion of an oval shaped eye, which is a more feminine shape, in my opinion anyway. Again, just repeat the same process on the other side. You can see I'm blinking a bit because it does make my eyes water. Again, with all makeup, it's just a blending process that makes things look correct. Now this is the interesting bit where I'm going to use a process called double stacking of eyelashes. This is basically putting one set of eyelashes on top of another. And I've chosen these amazing Shine Style 99 and 199 to do this. And this is basically how drag queens get that really dramatic eye by double stacking. It's a bit tricky, but it's worth the practice. So first I started off here on my right eye by applying the 99 lashes. Really do take your time to get them as tight to your own natural lashes as possible. I always turn the tweezers around here to just sort of use them as a prodding guide to ensure that I've got them on the lines and I'm really pushing it in the lash line. Always turn them over because you don't really want to be having something too sharp near your eyes, just in case there's any slipping at some stage. Well, I've got the first pair on now. I'm coming down from quite a high angle here, and I'm trying to get the lash lines to meet up. It does take a bit of practice. I generally try and get them to sit in the middle first, and then pick up either the inner part of the lash, as I'm doing here, to apply down, and then move on to the outer. It can be a bit frustrating. You can't really see it here, but I'm pinching the two of them together at the base line. Again, just pushing the form in so they sit correctly. Once again, just dropping it down on top of the existing lashes and putting it into place. Now, you might want to forego this particular stage, but I actually quite like very, very dense lashes. They seem to frame my eyes very well, make a good focal point for the look. Yeah, that's the finished article of both the sets of lashes in place. Now we'll move on to the waterline here, just to complete the eye. Just holding it down a little bit here and just very gently rubbing the pencil across. And for the final section, I've gone back in again really with this brush stroke, just to finish off a little tear duct on the inside of my eye, to open that up as well, as you can just about see there on my right eye. Just gives a better shape. And of course, you've got to blend your lashes together, and I've just used this Dramatic Volume mascara from Krolon here. It's got quite a nice wand on it, and it fits quite nicely into my eye. Slowly build the mascara up, don't try and put too much on in one go. I always start at the top before I go down to the bottom. As you can see here, I'm looking down into the mirror here. It gives me a bit of 3D dimension depth, so I don't drag the wand along the bottom of my eye and muck my makeup up. Slowly going back and forth, building the coat up. Sadly, I've got very little bottom lashes, so I have to do quite a bit of work on that. And this is my favourite bit, doing the lips using a lip liner. This is quite a cheap lip liner here. It's a shade number 3, and all I've done is a little cross at the top and a dot at the bottom, so I know where I'm going to start and finish the overall shape of my eye. My lips. I try not to over exaggerate my lips, but I've just overdrawn very, very slightly. As you can see with this particular pencil, it's quite creamy. So do take your time when you're doing this to get this shape as best you can, and make sure you get it right into the corner of your mouths. I'm stretching my mouth out here because it makes it a little bit easier for me to see the natural lines of my mouth itself. Particularly if you've got quite a bit of foundation on. So I'm pretty satisfied with the overall shape. I'm just putting a little bit more in the corner just to straighten out a little bit of an error I made there. Needs to be slightly thicker on this outside here. I've taken a very small brow brush again because it's my favourite brush for actually trying to get more of a controlled shape. As you can see here, where I meant that the pencil was quite creamy, it's actually spreading all the way across the lips here. But by doing it this particular way, I always find I can get a nice defined shape to my lips. I can start to fill it in with the residue left from the line, as you can see here. Just take your time getting the shape in. It's quite easy to balance your lips out if you use this technique. Now I'm going to be doing what I call an ombre lip of various colours. So the first colour I've used here is from the MAC range, and it's quite a darkish sort of colour. It's a retro matte liquid lip colour in shade Gems and Roses, and I'm basically going around the outside line, starting here at the top. And forming a wedge sort of shape I don't want the centre bits of either the top or the bottom lip to be filled in with this particular colour at this stage. That's quite a good match, so you can't really see it too clearly here, but there, you've just caught the light and you can see it's a slightly different colour than the pencil I've used, but I'm deliberately leaving that centrepiece. Now I'm going in here with a second colour, also from MAC, slightly different shade, and it's called Hey Good Looking. And it's this ombre look, or a two-tone look, I'm trying to achieve here to give it a bit more depth in the centre of the lip. Just blending them together a little bit more. The colour differential doesn't show particularly well on this particular video, but it is quite striking. So let's do a little bit of contouring and highlighting. I'm just doing my cheeks here. Now this particular blush from MAC, which is called Full Fuchsia, is really strong. So be incredibly careful if you do use this product and when applying it. So I've applied a little bit, and I'm actually using quite a big fluffy brush here, and I'm trying to blend it all in and sort of thin it down. As you can see, I'm having to work quite hard. I'm using the piece of card here between the top of my ear and the corner of my mouth to give me a nice straight line. Just keep working it in. Again, I'm doing it the other side. You can see here it's quite a strong colour. So it does need quite a bit of working in, but I think the effort's worthwhile in the end. I always start at the temples just to offload the brush if there's too much powder on it. Again, that line's quite nice. It helps to define your overall face shape. I'm also using the same colour along the jawline here just to really contour in the face and make it look a little bit thinner if I can, down to my chin. Again, work it in quite well. So you can see it gives quite a good shape and a good healthy glow to your face. Now I'm on to my favourite highlighter here, which is the MAC Mineralised Skin Finishing Shade Soft and Gentle. I put it across the forehead, particularly under the eyes here, because I always want them to stand out. The more you keep rocking it back and forward and blending it in, you're kind of knocking the edges off the molecules in there, making it shinier and shinier. So I'm really working it into that eye area there. And then the bit between the jaw line and your cheekbone there, I like to highlight that just to make the light shine down to your mouth and focus a bit more on the mouth area. Only a little bit. And finally, for the lips, I always put a little bit of lip gloss on here because I don't like very dry lips. I don't use much. This is quite a cheap lip gloss. It's quite thin, but it's got quite a bit of body to it, so it doesn't dribble all over your mouth. Stops my lips from drying out. Gives a little bit more pizzazz to your lips as well. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that of interest, and as I say, if you require any further information about any of the products, most of them are listed down below in the description with relevant links, but you can also email me, and the email address is sophie@crossdressing-lifestyle.com, and just in case you forgot that, the email address is also included in the description below. So finally, as always, stay gorgeous, stay safe, and until the next time, bye bye.